Hi everybody, it's Kenzie Knox and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be painting a nice little fishing painting I think that you'll really enjoy for the spring season that's coming along. So anyways, let's add some titanium white, Mars black, dioxazine purple, quinacridone magenta, luminous rose, phthalo blue, and phthalo green. Add those to your palette and let's get started. Using my size 36 filbert brush, I'm going to go ahead and tap that in some water, and I'm just going to start spreading that along my canvas. Then I'm going to dip into some titanium white and some dioxazine purple and start spreading that along the skyline along the top of the canvas. I'm just going to add some more white. Then I'm going to grab some luminous rose with my dirty brush and just blend some of that in, lightening up the clouds as we go down to the horizon. Grab some phthalo blue, and now we're going to start in on our landline, which is going to scoop down like a bowl. We're just blocking in some areas, so just paint this in just nice and loosely, don't worry too much. Then we're going to take some phthalo blue and add in our wave line. And then also, this will be our water line. So there's like a lower wave and then an upper wave. Just add those in right now. I'm just mapping out my painting right now. I'm going to take that phthalo blue along the bottom along with some phthalo green and mix that in, creating a really dark color down at the bottom, but not going all the way up to the line. Adding some titanium white to my brush, I'm going to go along that wave line that we created and just lighten that up a bit. Grabbing some phthalo blue and titanium white, I'm going to go and fill in that upper wave portion. Grabbing some dioxazine purple on my brush, I'm going to go ahead and fill in that little bowl area. That's where the water is. Rinsing off my brush, putting that aside, and grabbing my size 8 filbert brush, I'm going to paint in the moon with some titanium white, and it's only a half moon because we're going to create some clouds. Using my thinning medium or my fluid, I think this is a glossing medium, I'm going to tap into some of that with some titanium white and start adding in some clouds, just using the side of my brush to scumble in some just light clouds. I'm going to take some luminous rose, maybe even magenta if you need to, if you don't have luminous rose, and just add in a highlighted area for the clouds, reflection from the moonlight. Then I'm going to take some more titanium white, create another layer of clouds. And please remember that you can slow down this video if needed using the toolbar or the little gear thing in the YouTube upper right hand corner, I believe. You can slow down the video or speed it up or pause it even if you need to. Now I'm going to dip into some dioxazine purple and some magenta or luminous rose and create another little area of clouds that's like we're peeking through and we're just seeing some of the sky. Or just reflections. Taking some more titanium white, I'm just going to highlight some portions of the clouds and also create some more clouds. You can add as many or as few clouds as you'd like. I'm eventually going to bring the clouds all the way up to the top of the sky. There will be some mountains in the background, so you don't have to go all the way down to the bottom. Now I'm going to tap into some dioxazine purple and phthalo blue and create a more purpley color than blue and a little bit of titanium white. And I'm just going to map out some mountain areas in the background and then start filling in the top areas of them. These mountains will get lighter as they get down to the bottom. Adding some luminous rose to that dirty brush and some titanium white, we're just going to color in a little lighter portion of the mountain. Keep getting lighter as we go down to the bottom, adding more titanium white as we go down. I'm going to add a little more purple to the top area and blend that out just a smidgen. And now I'm going in with titanium white just to lighten up the entire bottom area of the mountain. Adding some light blue violet to my palette, I'm going to go ahead and add in some highlighted portions of the mountains. And I'm just using the side of my brush to do this. Switching to a larger size 12 filbert brush. This is actually a cattail brush. I decided to grab some phthalo blue and add in some trees. Then I decided to go in with my fan brush instead to make it look more realistic. But my fan brush was wet at this point from another painting and my trees weren't coming out just like how I wanted them. So eventually I switched over to a filbert brush. You can use any brush that you're comfortable with. It really doesn't matter. Like I said, I started out with a cattail brush, went to a fan brush, and then I end up with a filbert brush at the end. So actually I show you all different ways. But I'm just using a little bit of phthalo blue with a little touch of titanium white just to lighten it a little bit. And then I'm also going to add in, oh, this is where I switched to filbert brush. Add some dioxazine purple to add in some closer trees, some darker trees. Just give it a little bit of depth in the painting. You can add in as many trees as you'd like. Once you're done with that, I'm just going to darken in the land a little bit more. This is all going to be in the shadows from the moonlight. And then the center area, I'm going to add a little bit of titanium white with phthalo blue and lighten that up a bit. You can add in some lightened hilltops if you'd like to. It's up to you. And then we're going to draw in our little catfish thing. I think it's catfish. I'm not really sure what type of fish this is. So anyways, I grabbed some titanium white on a smaller size 6 filbert brush. And I'm just going to draw in the little mouth area now, which is going to scoop in like a U. And then that'll be the little mouth, and then that's the top of the head, which we'll have to make a little bit bigger. And then that goes down to the back, and then back to the bottom of the mouth, and that mouth is going to have a little tongue in it that we'll see. So coming out from the bottom is going to be the belly area, which goes down into the water, but do not cross that blue line. Make sure you separate that blue line or you paint that back in. And then just exaggerate the belly just a little bit, and then the tail fin, which will swoop back. And then we'll have the fins. So it's like a fish out of water. I'm just tapping in the tail, the back of the tail, just to give it some texture. Tapping back into my titanium white. I'm painting this entire fish in white so that the colors can really pop. If you don't do that, then you're going to have to add multiple layers of acrylic paint in order just to get the color or just shade that you really want the fish to be. Please remember, you can slow down this video if you need to. Now you can see I'm just painting the entire fish in white, leaving in those lines from the water. Taking some titanium white on the tip of my brush, I'm going to go ahead and paint in that top little water layer. And then add in some ripply areas, or reflection areas, I guess you could say. Grabbing some diacene purple, I'm going to go over that bottom wave layer, that bottom wave line. And then fill in some areas. Just get scumbling that paint in. Switching to a smaller size 6 filbert brush. This is like a mini filbert brush. I'm just going to add in some lines using the tip of my brush with phthalo blue and diacene purple, and maybe even some phthalo green. So I'm taking that phthalo green and phthalo blue, I'm painting in the top upper portion of that wave layer. So the bottom wave is basically the water line, and then the upper area is where the water is splashing. So imagine that you're looking through the water. Half of your lens is underwater, half of your lens is above water, and you'd see the water level and then the water around it where the fish is splashing, so it brings the water up around it. So we're just accentuating that with some white, and then the bottom area will be dark. Grabbing some luminous rose, I'm also going to mix this into the upper water layer, the reflective layer, I guess, of water, you could say. This will be reflecting the sky. So diacene purple, luminous rose, or magenta, quinacridone magenta if you have it. And then the same thing with that other water layer, or water wave line. Mixing some diacene purple and luminous rose too. Rinse out your brush and then grab some phthalo blue and phthalo green, and we're going to add in the darker area of the water underneath the fish. So just scumble in some paint, some phthalo blue and phthalo green along this area. You can even add some diacene purple if you really want to make it really dark. If you like to use black, you can use black. I try to use color instead of black in paintings, but it's up to you. Then switching over to phthalo green, I'm just going to scumble some paint above this darkest layer of paint, bringing up some light as it reaches the surface. And then taking some phthalo blue and phthalo green, I'm just going to darken in the sides of the water. Once you're satisfied with that, grab some phthalo blue and just outline the underbelly of the little fishy and paint in the area around it. And then paint in some blue under that white line again. Once you're done with that, rinse off your brush, and we're just going to put some colors on our palette, including yellow ochre, red orange, mid yellow, and some light olive green. So add those to your palette, and then using your little filbert brush, mix some titanium white with that yellow, and then we're going to paint around just a little bit around the mouth area and a little bit around the eyes. Then rinse off your brush, tap into some black and some mid yellow, and it should make a greenish color, like an olive green, and paint the outside of the fish. And then this is the area right where I'm painting is where the fish bends up, and so we're going to have that area lit up. So the top area is going to be dark green, and then we'll have a lighter, so add some titanium white to that color, and that'll be the underbelly color. Rinse off your brush, grab some titanium white, and line that olive green area with just like a white stripe. And then when you add some white to that yellowy color, yellow green, olive green color, add that to the back tail, and then outline the back tail with that darker color. Grabbing some white, I'm going to light up the fin so that we can paint it the proper colors it needs to be. And then I'm going to add this olive color around the eyeball. And we're just going to paint in this little eye socket and also go around the mouth area. So the bottom mouth is going to have a tongue that we'll see. So I'm just going to paint in the top portion of that with that olive green. And then I'm going to paint around the mouth with like just phthalo blue, a little bit of phthalo green, and add that to the top of the fish as well. Grabbing some white, we're going to go and lighten up some of this area at the top of the fish. And grabbing some white and yellow, we're going around the mouth and the eye again. Grabbing some black, I'm just going to paint in the eyeball, making it just circular. And then underneath the eye socket too. Then we're going to tap into some titanium white, and we're going to go around the eye, the top, at the bottom, and then tap in some white inside the eyeball to add the reflection and the glare, and we'll add some color to that later once it dries. Tapping into some of our olive color, I'm going in around the eye again, and then a little bit along that little line and underneath the eyeball too, around the mouth. And under the belly, just add this in sporadically. Then some titanium white with some of that red-orange color and some luminous rose or magenta. I'm going to paint in the tongue and some of the fin. This should be a very light salmony color, very pretty. And then a stripe along the side of the fish as well. You can add some more pink if you'd like to, and under the belly and some of the reflective areas of the water. I'm going to add a bottom fin with some titanium white. And then take some white and just go over some areas of the mouth again, the bottom and the top of it. And around the eye. And lighten up the top of the fish too. Grabbing that olive color, going back over it. Tapping in my paint, I'm doing this to add texture, so it's like a scaly-like effect. I'm taking some phthalo green and adding that around the outside of the fish to darken it a bit more. And just adding in some more scales. Adding some more white around the mouth again, just to lighten it up more. Then adding that olive green shade to some of the fins and the back of the fish, and adding some more scales along the top of the fish and around the mouth and the belly. Grabbing some phthalo green and with titanium white, I'm just going along the top layer of the water just to lighten it up a bit from the moonlight. I'm going to rinse off our brush and we're going to paint in some bubbles. Let's grab some titanium white. You can use the little filbert brush you're using, or a little liner brush, or a little round brush, whatever you'd like. We're just going to sporadically place in some bubbles, and then we're going to outline them with a very dark shade of blue or purple or whatever color you'd like to use. And this will create a bubbly-like effect. Once you're done with the white, go ahead and grab a little round brush. I'm going to use my size 1 round brush. And I'm going to grab some titanium, not titanium white. I'm going to grab some phthalo blue, and I'm just going to outline each of the bubbles. And once you're done outlining them, add some phthalo blue, some titanium white, and even a little bit of a phthalo green. And we're just going to paint in some of the bubbles that would be reflecting from the water. So they wouldn't be completely white. They would be a little bit of blue, a little bit of green, and white. And then you can add in some more bubbles with your little round brush. Add some very tiny, teeny little bubbles everywhere. And once you're done with your bubbles, we're going to take some titanium white with that red, orange, and magenta or luminous rose, and take that salmon color. I'm going to draw in the top fin on top of the fish. Once you've outlined it, take that salmon color and just fill in the outside of the fin. I'm going to take some titanium white and smudge that into that same color, bringing it lighter towards the center, and then I'm going to tap in some black and some yellow and paint in the very inside of that fin area. And draw in some darker areas as well. We're going to tap into some titanium white and light up just the top of the fish that's maybe reflecting from the moonlight. Re-highlight some of these areas of the fish, including the mouth and the lips and then the tongue, and then darken in the area around the mouth using that olive green shade. Then take that salmon color and go back in and add in some regions of the fish that you'd like to add some color to, including the tongue too. Don't forget about the tongue. We'll also add the salmon color to the eyeball as well. Then dipping into our black color with our little round brush, we're just going to go around the eyes. Yellow and black color, we're just going to add some more texture to the fish, or some more fin, or not fins, some scales, I guess you could say, with this color. Tapping back into our light blue violet, we're just going to add some texture to the moon, because the moon is not flat, obviously, and then we're going to take some white and outline the moon and highlight some of the cloud regions. And then taking some luminous rose with titanium white or magenta and titanium white, we're just going to darken in some of the areas of the sky. You can take some dioxazine purple and darken in some of these areas as well. Then taking some titanium white, we're just going to add in some more reflective lines to the water area. And to the back of the fish, just to highlight it a bit more. Taking that salmon color, we're just going to fill in the bottom fin. And then taking some more phthalo blue, we're just going to darken in the land line just a bit more. And at that point, I believe we're done, so I hope you enjoyed this YouTube tutorial. I know I did. Please remember to like this video and to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Okay, bye!